Hi, and thank you for joining us for this week's episode. In this week, we will talk about days of the week, months of the year, and of course, the seasons. In Turkish culture, like many others, days of the week are often believed to be linked to certain planets. Although these associations exist, they may not impact the daily beliefs for everyone.
Pazartesi, pazartesi, pazartesi. Salı, salı, salı. Çarşamba, çarşamba, çarşamba. Perşembe, perşembe, perşembe. Cuma, cuma, cuma. Cumartesi, cumartesi, cumartesi. Pazar, pazar, pazar.
Well, that's the days covered. Now it's time to have a look at the months.
Ocak, Ocak, Ocak.
The names of Turkish months are derived from the Old Turkic calendar, which has roots in Turkic and Central Asian traditions. The names often reflect natural phenomena, weather conditions, or activities associated with specific times of the year. For example, Ocak means forge or fire in Turkish, which is fitting for the cold winter month of January, when people traditionally gathered around the fire for warmth. Similarly, other months have names related to seasonal changes or agricultural practices, providing a connection between the names and the cultural context in which they originated.
Şubat, Şubat, Şubat.
In Turkish, the month of February is called Şubat. The origin of this name is not entirely clear, but it's believed to be derived from an Arabic word, which means to be difficult or hard. This could be associated with the challenging winter conditions during February. The naming of months often reflects the cultural and environmental context in which they are used, and Şubat likely has historical and linguistic roots that tie it to the difficulties or harshness associated with that time of the year.
Mart, Mart, Mart.
In Turkish, the month of March is called Mart. The name is thought to have originated from the Latin word Martius, which is related to Mars, the Roman god of war. This association might be due to the fact that March was a month when military campaigns resumed after the winter season. The name has historical and cultural connections, reflecting the significance of this month in various societies throughout history.
Nisan, Nisan, Nisan.
The Turkish name for April is Nisan. The origin of this name is rooted in the ancient Akkadian language, where Nisanu referred to the month of flowers. This association with blooming and blossoming aligns well with the spring season, when flowers typically begin to flourish. The name Nisan reflects the natural and seasonal characteristics of April.
Mayıs, Mayıs, Mayıs.
In Turkish, the month of May is called Mayus. The name is derived from the Latin word Maius, which is associated with Maya, the Roman goddess of spring. This connection to springtime aligns with May being a month of increased warmth and abundant blooming in many regions, making it a fitting name that reflects the seasonal changes during this time of the year.
Haziran, Haziran, Haziran.
The Turkish name for June is Haziran. The origin of this name is linked to the Arabic word Haziran, which means ready or prepared. It is believed that this name refers to the readiness of fruits and crops during the month of June, signifying a time of abundance and ripening in the agricultural calendar. The name Haziran thus captures the idea of the environment being prepared for harvest during this month.
Temmuz, Temmuz, Temmuz.
In Turkish, the month of July is called Temmuz. The name Temmuz has its roots in the Latin word Julius, which originally referred to the Roman dictator Julius Caesar. The month was named in his honor, as July was the month of his birth. Over time, as languages evolved, this name transformed into Temmuz in Turkish. The naming tradition often carries historical and cultural significance, tying the months to influential figures or events.
Ağustos, Ağustos, Ağustos.
The Turkish name for August is Augustos. This name is thought to be derived from the Latin word Augustus, which originally means venerable or great. The month was named in honor of Augustus Caesar, the first Roman emperor. Over time, this name found its way into various languages, including Turkish, reflecting the historical connections between different cultures and civilizations.
Eylül, Eylül, Eylül.
In Turkish, the month of September is called Eylül. The origin of the name is not explicitly clear, but it may be connected to the ancient Akkadian word Elulu, referring to the end of summer. The name likely reflects the transitional period from summer to autumn, capturing the changing seasons and the sense of the end of warmth associated with September.
Ekim, Ekim, Ekim.
The Turkish name for October is Ekim. The name is derived from the Turkish verb ekmek, which means to sow or to plant. October is a significant month in the agricultural calendar, marking the time when farmers traditionally sow seeds for the next growing season. The name Ekim reflects this seasonal activity, tying the month to agricultural practices and the preparation for future harvests.
Kasım, Kasım, Kasım.
The Turkish name for November is Kasım. This name is believed to be derived from the Arabic word kasim, which means to divide or to share. November is associated with the division of resources and harvest, reflecting the time when crops are gathered and shared within communities. The name Kasım captures the essence of this month as a period of sharing and distribution, particularly in relation to the agricultural cycle.
Aralık, Aralık, Aralık.
The Turkish name for December is Aralık. The origin of this name is linked to the Turkish word ara, meaning interval or space between. December is considered a transitional month, marking the interval between the end of the year and the beginning of a new one. The name reflects this sense of transition and the closing of the year, emphasizing the temporal gap between the old and the new.
Well, that's the 12 months covered. All we need to do now for this episode is to go through the seasons. Thankfully, there's only 4 of those. After that, we'll give you a little bit of information on some of the public holidays they have over here.
İlkbahar, İlkbahar, İlkbahar. Yaz, Yaz, Yaz. Sonbahar, Sonbahar, Sonbahar. Kış, Kış, Kış.
Well, there you have it. There's the 4 seasons for you. Thankfully, I'm sure you're thinking, is that the Turkish do not actually have any beliefs or superstitions when it comes to these seasons. Before we go, we will just leave you a short list of the national holidays that are celebrated here in Turkey. Well, this concludes this episode. Hopefully you found something interesting about it, and hopefully you've also learned something. For the next episode, you will need a pen and paper, as we're going to run a small test just to see what you have remembered from other subjects that we have covered. Until then, goodbye.